Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the Daily Lessons podcast. Today is going to be episode number 48, and we're going to be talking about a pretty boring but significant topic. We're going to be talking about retirement. Now, in particular, we're going to be talking about retirement advice geared towards Muslims. Obviously, if you're not Muslim, don't worry. You could probably still gain and benefit a lot from this episode as well, because I do dive in a little bit in, tax and just how things work, like from the differences from a 401k and also a Roth IRA. So, stick around as well. But here essentially it is, and obviously it's geared towards Muslims, because if you haven't noticed already, or if you've never seen me on YouTube, by the way, subscribe to this channel on YouTube. I make daily content like this every single day. Pretty redundant, but I'm going to leave that in there. But yeah, I'm Muslim myself, so I was looking at good retirement plans or retirement strategy as well. So these are just some of the things that I've came across. So without further ado, I'm going to get into it. Just a quick disclaimer as well. This is not financial advice at all. I'm not legally responsible for anything. You make your own decisions, and consult with a financial expert if you want to, but that's not me. Okay, I'm just some random guy making YouTube videos and just trying my best to give out the proper and correct information as much as I can, okay? So if I get something wrong, I apologize, because I'm not an expert, okay? So the reason why this video is geared towards Muslims is literally because Muslims are restricted on what they can actually invest in. The criteria that I've kind of came across is like two things, right? Number one, it has to be Sharia compliant, which essentially means that you cannot invest in a company or even make a company that does a lot of immoral acts that are just completely against our religion, right? Which includes gambling, the buying and selling of alcohol, just some other industries as well that you could probably name. And another criteria that is really out there in the financial markets is interest. We cannot buy or sell with interest, right? Now, if you already are, I'm not judging you or anything. I'm just kind of going by the criteria that is set for Muslims as a consensus, right? If you disagree with that, hey, more power to you, man. I don't, I just don't hold the same opinion as you. Now, here is what I pretty much found. Number one, 401ks. Pretty popular among the American population, of course, and obviously there's a lot of benefit to it because your employer is going to match your 401k a lot of the times, and it's basically free money. So consensus, a financial advice consensus was always like, hey, if you're not taking advantage of the 3% match that your employer is giving you, or the 5% match that your employer is giving you, you're basically leaving free money on the table. Now, a 401k wasn't an option for me because 401ks, the account, the money that you put in the account, it actually grows and compounds because of interest. So that takes out the 401k just kind of immediately, right? Now, the second option that you can obviously do, which is kind of a risky, it just completely depends on what you choose in the second option, as a retirement strategy, is basically picking your own stocks or ETFs or index funds or whatever you might call it, right? Now, this is a great option because you could pretty much pick like a halal index fund option, and you could just leave your money in there, and then you could take it out in retirement whenever you want to get retired as well. Now, here's the downside of that, which I think a lot of people forget about. While it is a good and viable option, there's something called long-term capital gains tax. And is there a way to circumvent it? I think that there is, honestly. And if you're a financial expert and you're watching this video or you're stitching this video, please feel free to call me out, because I would love to be corrected, especially just for my own knowledge and for the sake of my audience as well. So a way that you can potentially circumvent long-term capital gains tax is through a Roth IRA account. Now, here's the thing. When we're talking about a Roth IRA account, it's basically like another 401k, but instead of just a company picking the 401k investments that you'll be doing, in Roth IRA, to my knowledge, you can actually pick the investment strategy, or you can actually pick the stocks or the mutual funds or the index funds that you want. So what this does is you're in control and you can make, the best decision for yourself. So essentially meaning that if you're Muslim, you can just not pick the stocks, or you could just not pick the index funds that have interest in them, that have, gambling aspect, or just immoral things that are against our religion, essentially. And here's the thing: there's no capital gains tax on it if you take your money out, if you're over the age of 59 and a half. I'm just gonna do 60 just for the ease of this video. So the reason why you don't need to the reason why that you don't need to pay capital gains tax on it is because you've literally already paid the tax on your income. So the IRS has said that, hey, if you're gonna leave your money in there in a Roth IRA account, until you turn 60, we're not gonna tax it again. So it's basically a good little tax break for, middle class Americans. And I'm like, okay, well, this potentially works. Now, here are some benefits as well of a Roth IRA. So, for example, you have some money in a Roth IRA account, and using the Roth IRA, you decided to, buy a stock in, X company. Now, let's say, for example, the stock of company 1, it's about to go down, and you feel like it's going to go down. And is your money tied in there forever until you're 60? No, actually, you can actually take money out of company 1 and you can reinvest that money in company 2, and there's no tax that you're going to have to pay because of the money that you gain from the sale of the stock of company 1. Now, there's one caveat to that, and the caveat is that you cannot withdraw the money from your Roth IRA account, or then you'll have a penalty, and you'll also be taxed as well. But basically, there's a early withdrawal penalty if you do it before the age of 60. If you take the money out of a Roth IRA account, there are some exceptions to that rule. So, for example, you can take that money out if you have a medical emergency, and just some other things that the IRS has kind of granted us. But essentially, if you think that a stock is going down, you can, go ahead and take out your money from company 1, and then you could just put it into company 2. If you think that the company 2 stock is actually going to go up. So I thought that this was a pretty good strategy, especially since we're not being taxed on it. And if you take your money out once you finally hit 60, it's tax free. I thought that was absolutely insane. And one of the downsides of the Roth IRA itself is obviously the penalty fee that I talked about if you take your money out before you turn 60. And yeah, those are kind of my thoughts. I think I'm definitely going to open up a Roth IRA account and just start putting money in there, and then just start picking some index funds, some halal index funds apparently, eventually. And I'm just going to try my best to grow my money from there. But I hope this helps. I hope that this helps my Muslim brothers and sisters. Of course, I apologize if I'm just presenting this advice to you in a very unprofessional manner, but these are literally my findings from today, and just asking my friends and just asking the right people who I think that would know about these things. But anyways, guys, this was episode number 48 of the Daily Lessons podcast. If you like this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I really hope this helps. And by the way, Ramadan Mubarak, of course. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye, guys.